In a small seaside town, quiet enough that you could hear the waves touching the shore at dawn, stood a humble bakery that opened before sunrise every day. No glowing signs, no jingles or advertisements, only the warm, drifting scent of freshly baked bread that slipped through an old wooden window and filled the cobblestone street. People in town called it the Bakery of Time, and the old man who owned it, his name was Lucas. Long ago, Lucas had been a man of the city. He used to wear elegant watches, rushing through days that felt too short, believing that success meant never wasting a single second. But when his wife passed away after a long illness, he realized that for years he had lived with achievements, but had never truly lived with life itself. That night, he returned to the small house by the sea and opened the dusty oven that once belonged to his wife. The ticking of the kitchen clock reminded him. Time was still here, but the heart that once filled it was gone. Every morning at 4 a.m., Lucas would rise. He'd light a single bulb in the kitchen and begin kneading dough, slowly, rhythmically. The sound of wood scraping against wood, steady as a heartbeat in the dark before dawn. And in that little shop, none of the clocks ever told the same time. Some ran faster than the world, some lagged behind like memories, but every loaf that came out of the oven was perfect. One morning, a little girl named Mia walked into the bakery. She was the milkman's daughter, always waiting for the first loaf of the day. That morning, she looked at the wall, frowning. "How do you know," she asked softly, "when the bread is ready to come out of the oven?" Lucas smiled, his face wrinkling with warmth. "I don't watch the clocks, little one," he said. "I watch the scent of time." Mia giggled, thinking he was teasing her. But after many mornings, she began to see something. When Lucas smiled, the dough rose beautifully. When his thoughts drifted, the bread burned. It was as if time inside the bakery followed the baker's heart, not the ticking of the clocks. Sometimes he whispered to himself, "Don't rush, dough hates impatience." And in those moments, even the sea outside seemed to calm. The sunlight slid gently through the amber glass window, and everything inside the shop stood still, like a painting that refused to move, as if time itself had decided to rest for a while. One day, the old oven broke mid-bake. Lucas tried to fix it, but the dough was cooling fast. Mia panicked. "We have to hurry or the dough will spoil." But Lucas stayed calm. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and said softly, "Don't hurry, little one. Dough is like the human heart. If you push it too hard, it grows tired and turns hard." He continued kneading, slow, steady, listening to the rhythm of the oven, the rhythm of his breath, the rhythm of now. And when the bread finally came out, it was the most beautiful loaf Mia had ever seen, and she began to understand that sometimes not rushing is the only way to let life rise perfectly on its own. Years passed. The Bakery of Time became a quiet sanctuary for the town. People didn't come because they were hungry. They came because they wanted to pause, to spend a few minutes in a place where no one was racing the clock. And on the final morning before Lucas closed his bakery forever, Mia, now a young woman, returned. She found him baking the last loaf of his life. The warm aroma filled the room, and as the bread finished baking, every clock in the bakery stopped. Their hands pointed to the same moment, 4:47 a.m., the time when bread smells most alive. Mia turned to Lucas, her voice trembling. "Do you know, every clock stopped at once." Lucas smiled softly. "Of course I do, little one. Because today, time has gathered here." That morning, the town continued as usual, but inside the little bakery by the sea, time stood still, in the warmth of the bread and in the quietest corner of peace. Maybe time never runs away from us. Maybe it just waits for us to come back. We spend our lives chasing yesterdays that can't return, or tomorrows that haven't arrived, forgetting that the only place life truly happens is right here, now. Because when we stay with the scent of the bread before us, with the sound of our own breathing, with the person standing beside us, we are living inside the present moment. And when the heart is here, time doesn't have to move faster or slower. It simply becomes enough. Time isn't something to manage. It's a friend, waiting for us to sit down and share a piece of bread together again. And this is Beyond the Mind, where we don't just count time, we live with it